In a year marked by a dramatic surge in auto thefts, Toronto finds itself at the center of a heated debate. Advice from law enforcement has sparked controversy and attracted criticism from top government officials. Is the solution to car theft as simple as leaving your keys by the door, or is there more to this story? Let's find out. Rising tide of auto thefts in Toronto. In Toronto, the quiet nights and lively days have been shadowed by a troubling rise in auto thefts. The numbers are alarming, showing a surge that few could have predicted. Vehicle thefts and home invasions, specifically aimed at stealing cars, have skyrocketed by an astonishing 400%. This isn't just a statistic, it's a wave of crime that's washing over the city, leaving residents in a constant state of unease. Over in Peel region, the story, while not intensifying, remains serious, with an average of 22 cars disappearing each day, vanishing into the hands of thieves. Imagine a single mother in Etobicoke, who wakes up to find her only means of transportation to work, and her children to school, gone. These aren't isolated incidents. They're becoming distressingly common stories among Toronto residents. The emotional toll is noticeable. As fear and frustration seep into daily lives, people are not just losing their cars, they're losing their peace of mind. Financially, the burden is heavy, with insurance premiums climbing and many facing costs that can't be recovered. The community is being tested as trust in safety measures wanes, and the question on everyone's lips is, who's next? Theft rates are soaring, yet the police response is anything but ordinary. Let's witness the advice that turns into the unexpected. The controversial advice. In a twist that took Toronto by surprise, Constant Marco Ricciardi of the Toronto Police Service offered advice that sounded more like the plot of a peculiar heist movie than a safety protocol. To combat the alarming spike in auto thefts, he suggested that residents leave their car keys by the front door, preferably inside a Faraday bag. This advice, aimed at deterring thieves from committing home invasions just to get car keys, sparked immediate controversy and confusion across the city. So what's a Faraday bag, and why did it suddenly become a part of Toronto's anti-theft vocabulary? Simply put, a Faraday bag is a signal blocking pouch designed to prevent remote key fob signals from being intercepted by thieves. With modern vehicles increasingly reliant on keyless entry systems, criminals have adapted, using signal amplifiers to unlock and start cars without needing the physical key. The Faraday bag, named after the 19th century scientist Michael Faraday, acts as a shield, making it impossible for these signals to penetrate and thereby, in theory, keeping the car safe. But the suggestion to leave keys at the front door, even if shielded in a Faraday bag, left many Torontonians scratching their heads. On one hand, the rationale was clear: remove the incentive for thieves to break into homes by making the keys accessible, albeit in a manner that still prevents the car from being stolen. On the other hand, the idea of intentionally making car keys available to potential thieves seemed counterintuitive, almost inviting danger rather than deterring it. This guidance from Constantino Ricciardi, while rooted in a desire to protect the community from the threat of armed home invasions, underlined the desperation and complexity of addressing auto theft in Toronto. It sparked a citywide debate on safety, the effectiveness of conventional anti-theft measures, and the lengths to which residents must go to protect themselves and their belongings in an era where thieves are always a step ahead. Innovation or invitation? This controversial suggestion sparks debate across Toronto, so let's get into the heart of the community's reaction. Backlash and criticism. The idea of leaving car keys by the front door, even if secured in a Faraday bag, was met with a mix of disbelief and ridicule. Social media platforms buzzed with reactions, from memes comparing the advice to leaving cookies out for Santa, to concerned citizens voicing their apprehensions about inviting potential danger into their homes. Tweets and Facebook posts echoed the opinion, are we now facilitating thefts to avoid them? Capturing the community's perplexity and concern over the proposed safety measure. Beyond the public's outcry, expert opinions poured in, offering a more analytical perspective on the advice. Security experts and criminologists weighed in, questioning the long-term efficacy and potential unintended consequences of such a recommendation. Dr. Emily Smith, a noted criminologist, highlighted the paradoxical nature of the advice, stating, while the intention is to deter home invasions, we risk normalizing a culture of fear and compliance that could embolden criminals rather than deter them. Security consultant Mark Henderson raised concerns about the signal it sends. Telling citizens to essentially accommodate thieves might prevent one crime but could very well encourage another. The criticism wasn't just limited to the practicality of leaving keys in a bag by the door. It extended to the broader implications for community safety and police-citizen relations. Many felt this advice could erode the sense of security that the police are meant to uphold, with residents like Maria Gonzalez commenting, "I look to the police for protection, not for tips on how to make a thief's job easier. In the wake of this controversial suggestion, the conversation in Toronto shifted from dealing with auto theft to a larger discussion on the effectiveness of police strategies and the role of community cooperation in maintaining safety. From serious concerns to satire, the city reacts. Even Premier Ford weighs in with a comparison that's as humorous as it is thought-provoking. Doug Ford's Santa Claus comparison. Ontario Premier Doug Ford's reaction to the Toronto Police's unconventional auto theft advice was both incredulous and tinged with humor. Ford, known for his straightforward approach, couldn't hide his astonishment. "I had to be picked off the floor," he remarked, likening the suggestion to leave car keys by the door to an invitation for Santa Claus, albeit with a twist. "We might as well leave cookies and milk at the front door," he jested, painting a picture of homeowners leaving notes for would-be thieves urging them not to break in because the keys are readily available. Despite his initial shock and the playful Santa Claus comparison, Ford was quick to rally behind Constable Marco Ricciardi, the officer at the center of the controversy. He praised Ricciardi as one of the finest police officers in the country, acknowledging his good intentions and dedication to public service. Ford's response highlighted a balance. While the advice might have seemed outlandish, the commitment and concern of Toronto's police force for the safety of its citizens remained unquestionable in his eyes. But what strategies are Toronto's leaders employing against the increase in auto thefts? The broader conversation. The surge in auto thefts in Toronto has not only alarmed residents but also caught the attention of the city's and province's highest-ranking officials. Toronto's mayor, alongside Ontario's Solicitor General and the police chief, has been thrust into the center of a broader conversation about public safety and organized crime's role in the increasing number of vehicle thefts. Toronto's mayor, without explicitly addressing the controversial advice, emphasized the city's commitment to tackling the issue head-on, advocating for increased resources for law enforcement and community programs aimed at prevention. Similarly, Ontario's Solicitor General highlighted the sophisticated nature of auto theft rings, pointing out the alarming ease with which cars are being stolen across the province. Police Chief Myron Demkew shed light on the staggering statistics: over 12,000 vehicles stolen in a year, translating to a theft every 40 minutes, with a combined value nearing $800 million. This revelation brought the conversation to a national stage, prompting discussions about the need for a collaborative approach to curb this trend. The chief's comments on the role of sea containers and the lack of inspections at ports like Montreal illuminated a critical loophole being exploited by criminal networks, allowing stolen vehicles to vanish without a trace. The unified message from government and law enforcement leaders is clear. The fight against auto theft requires a multifaceted strategy that includes supporting police resources, enhancing security measures for vehicle owners, and tightening regulations around port inspections, preventative measures, and alternatives. Beyond the controversial suggestion of leaving car keys by the front door, the police have advocated for a range of actions homeowners and car owners can take to protect their property. Parking vehicles and secured garages where possible act as the first line of defense, keeping cars out of sight and harder to access. For those without this option, enhancing the lighting around driveways and home entrances serves as a deterrent, making would-be thieves think twice before approaching. The integration of security cameras offers not only a preventive measure but also a means to gather crucial evidence should a theft occur. Community efforts have taken these recommendations a step further, illustrating the power of collective action in combating auto theft. Neighborhood watch programs have been revitalized, with residents keeping an eye out for suspicious activity and sharing real-time updates through community apps. Perhaps the most innovative has been the push towards educating residents on the technology behind auto theft, such as signal amplification attacks, and how to counteract them with simple solutions like Faraday pouches for key fobs. Safety isn't just in the hands of the few but a collective responsibility. Let's continue this conversation, share insights, and strengthen our defenses together. Your thoughts, stories, and actions can shape a safer tomorrow. Share them in the comments below.